Hi, we're the Devil Wears Prada.
And you're watching Hit the Floor.
So presumably you guys have toured the UK before, quite a few times. Have you got any good venues that you'd like coming back to? Is it good to be back in the UK?
It is. We last time we were here was in late 2009 with Enter Shikari, and the tour went over really well. Unfortunately, we were never able to do anything in 2010, which was a big bummer. It definitely feels good to be back. We definitely enjoy time in the UK, and we enjoy the shows here.
But yeah, I mean, you guys have done some huge tours before. I know you've done direct support for Killswitch. You've also toured with Parkway in Australia, and I mean, those guys they're big here, but over there it's a whole new level. There's a great lineup, obviously, on this tour you're on at the moment. How does this compare to some of the tours you've done in the past?
It's definitely awesome to be able to do these big rooms and whatnot, especially when we don't have many opportunities to come over to the UK. It's awesome that when we do come, we get to do it with bands like Bring Me, who do so well on Parkway and Enter Shikari and whatnot. So it definitely is up there, and we're definitely we're pushing really hard to get on this tour because we're long overdue to be back here in England. So definitely stoked that we got the opportunity, and the show's been awesome, and everyone gets along well and all that jazz.
Yeah. And when you're playing a lineup like you have at the moment with bands like Parkway and Bring Me, you know, excellent bands. I mean, does that raise your game performance-wise? Do you give it that much more when you're in that kind of company?
I think we pretty much just look at ourselves more than we do, you know, the lineup surrounding. When it comes to what we put on for a show, we just, you know, it doesn't matter who we're playing with. We're gonna hold ourselves to a certain standard, and it's more, you know, just, I don't know. You know, if we're playing Bamboozle, or if we're with these guys, or if we're with Killswitch, you know, we're just gonna go do our thing, our way, and that kind of stuff. So I don't.
You concentrate on yourself and your own performance. I think that's the main thing. Is that right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, from watching the interviews before, I know that you used to. I don't know if you still do have a sound man with you called Ben Wilcox. Is he still with you at the moment?
He is. Yeah.
He is. Yeah. Does he still do his stunts? Is he still around at the moment?
Oh, Ben Wilcox stunts.
Only if you pay him, apparently. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, he has to be paid, yeah. I think Ben Wilcox Stunts has been inactive for quite some time.
Yeah.
He's also really busy on this tour because he's doing monitors for Bring Me, so he's got like 14-hour days. So Ben Wilcox Stunts is just kind of, you know, off to the side right now. But
didn't he jump into a river in Switzerland or something?
That's actually the only stunt he's done, so.
Because the money wasn't forthcoming after that, I guess.
He did tape 2 cigarettes together and smoke them several times during this tour. So
that's pretty big. That's pretty big. I'll be quite impressed with that. But I guess I heard you guys wrote a song about him also. Is that right?
We have a song named after him. Yeah, Ben has a kid. He actually had another kid earlier this year too. So unfortunately, tragically, we stopped doing joke song titles. But if we were just still doing joke song titles, we'd have to have another one about Ben having 2 kids or responsibility or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's well known that you guys are a Christian band. You're all Christians. Obviously you've been together quite a long time now, but when you said when you first started, particularly when you're on the Sounds of Underground tour, you did on occasion get a bit of a hard time for being Christians for ridiculous reasons. As you've sort of got bigger and been together longer, has that started to die off nowadays, or do you still occasionally get a hard time for that?
It's definitely died off for the most part. Coincidentally, last night we got booed harder than we have in a long time.
Oh,
but the show was still awesome. Everyone still loved it, so I don't really care at all. But I don't know. I think just being a more mature act and less of being little teenage boys up on stage plays a big role in people appreciating what you have to say. So I don't know. We definitely still stand behind the same thing, and I don't know, just as we've kind of evolved and everything, people give us less flack about it, and I don't know, it really never comes up anymore. It's just...
No. Because a few years ago, I'd say, you know, over 5 years ago, there was quite a few bands that started to get big that were Christians, and at the time, I remember people didn't necessarily talk about the music so much. It was just the fact that they were Christians, and they couldn't get their head around it for some reason. Obviously, with the success of yourselves and bands like As I Lay Dying and this kind of thing, do you think now it's almost a better environment for you because you can just concentrate on the music rather than that coming before anything else?
I don't know.
I think in line with what he said, you know, people I think now do respect us regardless of, whether we are Christian or not, because we have proved that we still are a band. It's not just a gimmick for us. It's something that, we believe in. And like, I think for bands like As I Lay Dying or Under Oath or, ourselves, like, you can tell when a band is actually passionate about something. And, like, whether it's straight edge or any of that kind of stuff, you can see bands that really care about what they're saying in the lyrics, and I don't think, any kind of music, you can tell when the singer really has something to say with his lyrics and with the message, and it doesn't just have to be a Christian thing. You can see that in any kind of music, and I think that, I don't think now, because there's more successful Christian bands, there's always been, Christian bands, but I think if anything too, like, we are kind of further away from the really, like, Maiden, Slayer, metal scene, to where, the people that really give that kind of flack pretty much only like Slayer and Maiden anyway, so they're not coming to our shows and giving us grief and a hard time and stuff, so.
And obviously your latest release was a Zombie EP, and most fans who obviously picked that up, the first thing people tend to notice was it was a lot heavier than a lot of stuff that had gone before. Presumably with the success that that's had, that'd be something you'd be looking to carry forth into the album?
Yeah, we did the EP just to have a good time and to give fans something to listen to, and make sure that we have a release for people. And that when we had the idea to do an EP, it just seemed like it was awesome because it was something that no one else had done before. And when it came out and how well it sold and the way that it was received by critics and everything, it turned out really well. And it seemed like going into the new record we just finished recording, it would be almost sacrilegious to not make it heavier, because everyone appreciated that about the EP so much. So it definitely was a huge influence and something to really keep in the back of our heads as we came up with the songs. But the new record was also has all the melody we always put into our songs and all the heart and sort of emotion that the Zombie EP didn't have. But it was definitely a big factor in there, and the Zombie EP definitely had its role.
I mean, as a band, I know that you guys don't like it very much, and I don't understand it either. You have been associated with lots of different genres, with like the emo and screamo, and you've said yourselves that's not something that you go for. You consider yourself to be more of a metal band. And I know you said before, actually, that looking back on some of your old material, you've been quite surprised about how that sounds in tune with where you see the band going. Obviously, with the Zombie EP, and obviously, like you said, you've gone a lot heavier with the new album as well. Would you say that you're more focused now, and you're making the music that you've always wanted to write?
Yeah, musically, I'm 23 now. I was 18 when I joined this band, so it's like, we wrote half of those songs when we were 18 years old. Chris and him were 17. It was like, we're adults now. We've been playing not even just guitar, but guitar with these guys for the past 5 years, and so that's what we do every day, and we're a lot better, musicians, and we're a lot better as a band collectively than we were back then. So I think, like, we do kind of look back and go, oh man, what were we thinking? But, that was the best we could do back then. But I don't know. I wouldn't even consider half of that our material anymore, only by default.
No, definitely moved on from there, from what I've heard anyway. Well, I guess that you guys reckon that'd be a positive thing too. Anyway, right, so festival season is coming up. Now, I know you've been asked this question a million times before, but if you're going to put yourself in the same sentence as Slipknot, people are going to keep on coming back to it. You've said before that you would love to tour with Slipknot. Is this ever going to happen?
I don't think it'd be out of the question.
We hope it won't be.
Has there been any dialogue?
No, I don't know when the last U.S. tour they did was. Probably what was it, 2008 they did Mayhem. I don't know if they've done anything since then. And obviously with Paul passing away and everything, there was all those roadblocks, but then you wave a lot of money in their face and they come back and do festivals. But I would definitely still want to tour with Slipknot. It's still just the lone objective, I suppose.
Maybe one day. You can aim towards that. Maybe one day that can happen for you.